Hello guys, as usual, stay home, stay safe, and do Excel chemistry. Alright, so let's continue our discussion on the hydrides. Actually, yeah, we spoke about nature of oxides, now hydrides. All the elements they do, in fact, they don't combine with hydrogen directly, but they form hydrides. Okay, boron family do not combine directly with hydrogen, but they still form hydrides. Okay, that is on strong heating or in the presence of strong reducing agents, then they form respective hydrides. Okay, and boron forms many hydrides, many stable covalent hydrides. Why covalent? Because of its small size, more electronegativity. The electrons are having an what I can say is the nucleus of a boron has more attractive force, and that's what we can say that it is exhibiting the covalent nature. And as I said, it is having many hydrides of general form BnHn plus 4 type, and also BnHn plus 6 type. Generally they are called as boranes. Borane. Okay, and boranes are electron deficient species. Their octet is not satisfied, so the electrons are deficient. Okay, and when you talk about the, for example, BnH4 NHn plus 4 type, B, let's say n value has to B2H6, this is called as diborane. And in case of this B4H, let's say 10, okay, this is called as tetraborane 10. Okay, 10 represents our number of hydrogens. So diborane, tetraborane, and in the diborane or tetraborane, both of them are electron deficient species. What do you mean by electron deficient species? They have their empty orbitals, or in other words, their octet is not satisfied. If their octet is not satisfied, how are they still existing? That is the reason they are forming dimers. Okay, they cannot exist individually, that's why they are existing in dimers. Okay, then same way aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, they also can form. Aluminium forms of the kind AlH3 n type. Okay, or I'll write it like this: aluminium hydride of n represents about the number of molecules that are present, and this is a polymer. Okay, if it is monomer, n value is 1. If it is polymer, is like n value is 10, so 10 molecules are present. Okay, then we can call it as decamer. Fine, and so on. So on a whole, it is a polymer, it has a chain of molecules attached, and this one is called as alane. Same with respect to gallium also we have, and this exists in dimeric form, and that is Ga2H6, and the name of this is called as digalane. Okay, and indium also, this indium can also exist in polymeric form as InH3 of n times. Okay, and this is called as like polymer. No, this is also a polymer, so you can call it as indane. Okay, so many number of atoms. And thallium's case, there is no hydride to form. Okay, of course gallium and indium, these are unstable. Okay, and with thallium there is no hydrate at all, no hydrates. It is very difficult to form thallium hydrates. In other words, the stability is very less. Okay, very difficult to form thallium hydrates. Apart from this, like BH3 molecule, okay, just BH3, apart from borane, diborane, B2H6 existing in B2H6, this is diborane, but existence of BH3 is not known. Not known. The reason why it is not known is probably it is because of the empty. See, boron is not satisfied with its valency, right? 8 electrons. Anything to be stable, it should be having 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So it has 1 2 3 4 5 6, and it is still empty. Okay, and because of this reason it does not exist. BH3 does not exist individually. Okay, of course this empty orbital that is available can form a dative bond. Okay, so in fact, like what, there is a back bonding, like someone asked, sir, what is back bonding and all. In halides what happens is, these hydrogens, the hydrogens has only one electron and that electron is participating in bonding. What happens in halides is, like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, they have an empty or lone pair of electrons. Those lone pair of electrons participate, even if fluorine is present, the fluorine has lone pair of electrons like this. So this lone pair and this empty orbital, they bond actually. Okay, they form a dative bond like this. Okay, so that type of bond, which are what electrons, pi electrons, they form a pi bond. Okay, the bond formed is a pi bond, and in that case we call it as back bonding. Anyways, as said already, uh, while the time comes, I'll explain you what is back bonding. In fact, the point is same. In detail we'll talk about what is exactly the electron density, how much it is increased, what type of bond. Chemical bonding you should have studied, but even organic chemistry is the right area to discuss about back bonding. And what type of bond is formed, pi bond, and what are the electrons that are involved in pi bonding, that we'll be discussing. As of now, BH3 does not exist. Okay, as its octet is not fulfilled. Fine. Apart from this, they also form complex hydrides, like NaBH4, LiAlH4, LiGaH4. All these things are complexes, and they are very strong reducing agents. In the organic chemistry we will talk about this point very often. Okay, so they are very strong reducing agents. Fine, that's all about hydrides. Now let's talk about halides. Halides as such, again, most of them, they form trihalides. Of course di and monohalides are also possible, but basically they form trihalides. For example, boron, BX3. Okay, where X can be fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Okay, so they are covalent in nature. With boron I'm talking, they are covalent in nature. Why covalent? Again, the same reason, because of its small size and electronegativity is high for boron. If you talk about the electronegativities with respect to other species, from top to bottom electronegativity, from left to right electronegativity will, as size decreases, electronegativity will increase. From top to bottom it will decrease. So from top to bottom with respect to other elements, boron, aluminum, gallium, thallium, boron has higher electronegativity. Because of these two reasons, its compounds are mostly of covalent in nature. Okay, what do you mean by electronegativity is high? Tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons. Alright, then, so talking about the geometry, these compounds BX3, they are sp2 hybridized. And if it is sp2 hybridized, then planar, trigonal planar or triangular. Okay, and this one also, that is boron, like for example This is how it looks. All the elements, they lie in one plane. They lie in one plane, and the shape of the atoms when they are joined together, it's a triangular shape. So trigonal, planar. All the elements are like in one plane. Fine. And now these BX3, if you observe carefully, 1 sigma, 2 sigma, and 3 sigmas, and that's why sp2. And boron is still having one of the empty orbital. Okay, and because of that empty orbital, it can form dative bonds. What is dative bond? Coordinate covalent bond. How? By accepting one lone pair of electrons. And because it is accepting one lone pair of electrons, they are called as Lewis acids. Any species that accepts one lone pair of electrons, they are called as accepts Lewis acids, donates Lewis bases. Okay, so all these boron, chloride, fluoride, all of them, they are exhibiting or existing as Lewis acids. Very important point. And then on hydrolysis, BF3, for example, when we treat with water, it forms BF3OH hydroxide with a negative charge. See, BF3 is generally neutral. Water H plus and OH minus, they are OH minus will be attacking the boron, because boron is not, I said, electron deficient. Boron is in hunger of electrons. So this one breaks down as H plus and OH minus. OH minus is having negative charge, right? Or electrons are available on the oxygen. So these electrons will be given to the boron and forms BF3OH. OH is coming and bonding, and it is having a negative charge, so that's why the product is also having net charge is negative. And for this, since it is negative, the positive fellow will be attracted towards it. It's a kind of ionic bond. So H plus BF3OH minus. Okay, and when I further treat it with water on hydrolysis further, same thing. This water, that is H plus, is further hydrated, or you can say acidified. H3O plus BF3OH minus. Okay, so that is how you can say, like, the BF3 molecules on hydrolysis, it forms salt. On the other hand, with BCl3 or bromine and iodine, when we hydrolyze, they don't form salt, rather they form acids, that is H3BO3 plus respective mineral acids, that is HCl or HBr or HI. Okay, so apart from this, there is always, this is one of the methods of preparations of boric acid. This is called as what? Boric acid. It is a weak acid. Fine. Alright, so this is what about hydrolysis of the halides of boron. And when you talk about aluminum's case, aluminium, gallium, indium, they form fluorides, and those fluorides are ionic in nature. Okay, AlF3, GAF3, NF3 are what in ionic in nature. On the other hand, further, like apart from fluorides, further chloride, bromide, and iodides of gallium, indium, thallium, and aluminium, they are relatively covalent in nature. And when you talk about the covalent nature from top to bottom, for example, AlCl3, GaCl3, InCl3, when I talk about their covalent nature from top to bottom, it will be decreasing. Okay, we know that as we go down the group, the covalent character decreases. And hydrolysis of this one, AlCl3 on hydrolysis, very important one, this forms aluminum hydroxide, which we have studied already, in fact, plus HCl. Fumes of HCl gas is released. Okay, and of course all of them, again, they behave as Lewis acids. What is Lewis acids? Electron pair acceptor. Okay, and within them, if I talk about the acidic character, what do you say? AlCl3, GaCl3, InCl3, and TlCl3. What should have happened the acidic character from top to bottom? Acidic character will decrease. Acidic character decreases. Why? Basic character is increasing, we have already discussed. Or you can see you can see with respect to the size of the atoms, as the size increases, okay, the size increases, the tendency to attract the H plus ions, or with respect to the electron, why do we call it them as Lewis acids? Lewis acids because they accept lone pair of electrons. I have already said, accepting one lone pair of electrons. So smaller size will accept one lone pair of electron, larger size cannot accept that lone pair of electrons easily. Smaller fellow, because of its smaller size, can accept the electrons easily, larger don't accept. Larger not accepting means less acidic, acidic character decreases. Okay, fine. And apart from this, we also have, they extend its coordination number, like aluminum, gallium, indium, they can extend the coordination number and form complexes using or the empty d orbitals. For aluminum, gallium and thallium, we have the availability of d orbitals, but boron we don't have the availability of d orbitals, empty d orbitals. So boron cannot extend, whereas this fellow can extend, and they form MX6 type of with a negative charge. This is a complex compound. As always, I say that while the chapter arrives, that is complex compound, you will have a detailed study on it. As if now, it's just an information that by extending the empty d orbitals, it can form a complex compound. And also boron's case in BF3, okay, in BF3 we will find the fluorine. I was talking about the fluorine. The fluorine has lone pair of electrons and smaller size of fluorine, smaller size of boron. The lone pairs can easily back bond. I told just now what is back bonding, right? So information again. So these lone pair of electrons are put into the empty orbital of boron and they form a bond, and when this happens, it is a pi bond, and this called as back bonding. Whereas if you talk about the back bonding of aluminum, gallium and titanium, the size of the species are relatively larger. So because of the larger size, fluorine is somewhere here and the size is bigger, so because of the larger size, the back bonding is not possible. Okay, I write that no back bonding, as size of the atoms are bigger. Okay, then even though they don't have back bonding, they have the MTP, MTP orbitals, they can under or form dative bonds. Okay, that is always available. MTP orbitals. What is this MTP orbitals? For example, aluminum case, what is the configuration of aluminum or any? It is NS2 NP1. So NP1, only one electron is filled, so these two are empty, right? So these MTP orbitals can participate in formation of dative bonds, involves in dative bonds, coordinate covalent bonds. Okay, and that's the reason they can exist in dimer form, even though their octet is not satisfied, but they can exist in dimer. Okay, and that too in vapor state, they are non-polar solvents. Okay, so only in the non-polar solvents they can exist as dimer in the vapor state. What happens when I use polar solvent? When I use polar solvent, what do I mean by this point? See, aluminum, for example, AlCl3, right? So Cl and another Cl. There is another molecule of Al who is having the chlorine and this chlorine AlCl3. Now this chlorine is forming a dative bond with the aluminum atom, and this chlorine can form a dative bond with this aluminum atom. Okay, empty p orbitals are available for aluminum, right? So they can form a dative bond, and because of this dative bond they are existing in dimer. Okay, and this dimer can exist only in the vapor state and moreover in the non-polar solvent. What happens in the polar solvent like water? Suppose if I add water to this one, okay, the dative bond breaks off. That means no dimer, they don't exist in dimers. Reason, the water, when I add water, hydration energy is, more amount of hydration energy is released. That hydration energy breaks the bonds, dative bonds. Okay, so they no longer exist in dimers. Fine. So let me write that point also. In polar solvents, solvolysis takes place and high solve, like if at all it is water, high hydration energy causes unstable dimers, or they break down the dimers. Fine. So that's what about the point. Apart from this, they also can exhibit the dye, that is MCl3 type. MCl2 is also possible and MCl is also possible. Okay, so on a whole, this is what about the one important point is, while we talk about BCl3, yeah, BCl3, when we treat with the mercury and heat it, we form B2Cl4 type. Okay, so in fact B2, again this is also dimer, BCl2, which is, I was talking about the dihalide. This is trihalide, this is dihalide. Boron can also form dihalides, all of them, boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, they can form dihalides. And how the dihalide of boron is prepared, that is important. BCl3 treated with mercury on heating, okay, at low pressure, we find that B2Cl4, that is dimer formation is happening. Okay, so just remember this point. Okay, alright, so with this we stop for today. In the next class we'll talk about the anomalous properties.